Hello and welcome to another episode of A Day in the District. I'm your host, Chelsea Whittington. A Day in the District is a program designed to help you, the viewer, stay connected to your Gary Community School Corporation. I am so pleased to kick off 2023 with two of my faves, our manager of the Gary Community School Corporation, Dr. Paige McNulty, and our Chief Academic Officer, Kim Bradley. Happy New Year, ladies.
Happy New Year. Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Great to see you as well. And you know I wouldn't dare start this season this year without starting with those who are in leadership, who are taking us to the next level. But before we jump into all the good news and everything happening in the district, Doc, how was your break? Did you get some rest?
Got some rest, yes. Got to hang out with my kids and wear sweats like a regular mom for a couple days and bake cookies, do all that good stuff. So yeah, we had a wonderful time.
Good. And
Yeah.
you, Kim?
Same. Just really enjoyed taking a little break, a little breather. It was nice spending time with my kids and grandkids. So.
Yeah, and the weather wasn't so bad. So
Right, it wasn't
we
too
were
bad,
able to
just
get
a
out
couple
and
days,
enjoy
but-
ourselves. Well, I'm so glad. And of course, as soon as the school bell rings, we jump right back in. But some people aren't aware that there was a lot of activity still happening in the schools during the break, thanks to our facilities team and a lot of partners
Right.
working together. What happened, Doc?
Yeah, so we had, it was cute. We had some students calling them our little elves that they could see working in the schools. And so they worked diligently, our maintenance crew and the vendor that we hired and all of our custodial crew worked very hard at removing all the furniture, and all the new furniture was installed on every single classroom. So huge kudos to everybody working together because, you're talking thousands of pieces of equipment.
Yes.
The teachers did a phenomenal job because they had to clean off all their desks before they left, came back to shiny new stuff, and were able
Yes.
to get that all, reset up. But the rooms look absolutely fabulous, set up now so that they can do student-centered collaborative learning. They can move them around into different settings for project-based learning, which is what we're promoting through our STEM education. So
Yes, I was very excited. I actually
yeah.
was there, and I have to say, rest in peace to wherever my desk is from first grade, Mrs. Abrams' class at Ernie Powell or whatever. Everything's gone.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
And that's so great to see. And I was able to witness. I stopped over at Glen Park Academy, and the looks on their faces. There was one young lady in particular that we had to share the snippet, where she walked in and she looked around and she paused and she just said, I feel like royalty.
Aww.
That should make you feel
Yeah.
so good, just
Right.
as former teachers, as educators, as superintendents. It's like we are really making a difference in their lives for her to say, it's so clean in here and I feel special. And that's part of the learning process that, Kim, you can speak to as far as, you both can, environment-wise, what it does for the learning process.
Right, and that's what I was thinking about, the fact that where the student learns is important too. That child, how she felt when she walked into the classroom, that's going to impact her wanting to be there while she's there, her comfort level. It was awesome. I saw the video. It was so great to see. It just heartwarming.
Yes, so for those of you, if you haven't taken a look at the new furniture and people were thinking, is it just one school? Is it just two? It's all of them. The art rooms, everything. We took a tour, and special thanks to the media who came out to help us tell that story. ABC was there, and NBC did a follow-up in the Times of the Post, Crusader 411. So thank you. I have to say that.
Yeah, a lot of that furniture was 40, 50 years old.
Exactly.
And so, again, thanks to the ESSER funds, I want to make sure that that people understand how that was being paid for, was how we were able to have this one-time large purchase, because it's something that perhaps we'll never be able to get again for a very long time. So
what
yes.
do you say to those people that are like, $7 million, that's craziness, but this was a window of opportunity.
A window of opportunity. We were fortunate enough to be able to get ESSER funds, as we know. We got a large amount of ESSER funds. We dedicated more towards academics than probably any other district in the state of Indiana. But that being said, we still had a pot of money that we needed to spend on capital improvements. And one of those capital improvements that we felt was important was the student furniture and the aesthetics, and being able to, again, use those classrooms so that they can be moved around and not do the traditional seating with the teacher standing in front of the classroom and kids sitting in rows. That's kind of
It's dated.
outdated. And so kids are now moving around, sitting on the floor, building robotics,
Yes.
that type of stuff. And we needed to have furniture that was more conducive to that and looks good and
Well,
it's
it
more
works.
comfortable
It
than
works.
those steel chairs.
Right.
Yes.
So we're very
We have
excited.
to prepare our scholars for 21st
That's
century.
right.
That's
learners.
right. And I feel like it's just, for me, coming from my angle, another selling point of why people should seek to enroll their scholars in the Gary schools, because this isn't the last of the improvements, which moves me on to something else. I made a post on my page the other day that says, bleacher me, please, because the bleachers are now in at
bleachers
Westside
are
and
done.
other schools.
Yeah, the bleachers are done. They look fabulous. Beautiful
whole
new
gym
bleacher.
is
Again, the whole gym's
wonderful.
and Bailey schools will be done by the end of next week.
Nice.
So yeah, we've had 3 schools who got all new bleachers. They're ADA compliant. Again, more comfortable. They will afford us to be able to host more games. Again, I think they're looking at us for sectionals again. Just a little teaser.
Yes.
And we'll be able to have more community events and meetings, etc. To the furniture, I want to say though, real quick, we are going to be inviting families in the community to come around and to do an
house?
open house,
Okay.
so they can come see the furniture. So we are having community meetings that we'll talk about here. But in addition to that, we are going to open up the building so that anybody who wants to come and see them, we would love for you to come and visit our schools.
Yes.
The other thing is that was the elementary installation of furniture, but we have new pre-K to 12.
Okay,
So we
all
have
the way
it all,
across.
yes, in every
Yes, so
school.
everybody can be clear about that, because I've
Right.
even spoken with some teachers. One just screamed uncontrollably. She was just so happy
Yeah.
to have, not only for the students, but for themselves,
Yeah.
to have a good workspace that is upgraded,
difference.
spacious, and very attractive. It gave it a whole extra facelift
Right.
on the other things that are being done in the buildings. And so the bleachers, you said, also at Bailey Middle,
Correct.
are also set to come in. So
They're here.
They're
gonna be
here.
They're here. They're just finishing up the last minute tweaks. It'll be done by next week, and so we're already hosting. Actually, we have a game tonight here at the high school. We had one last night, and the elementary is going to have their very first home game here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's going to seem so massive to them, something
know.
they will never forget.
Yeah.
But again, it plants the seeds as baby cougars.
Right.
That they
Absolutely.
will ultimately play the here full time
That's right.
as big cougars.
That's right.
You are watching A Day in the District, a show designed for you, the viewer, to stay connected to your Gary Community School Corporation. I am chatting with our manager, Dr. Paige McNulty, and our Chief Academic Officer, Kim Bradley. When we come back, we'll talk more about school improvements and academics. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
Don't tell anybody, but I'm a bookworm. I'm one of those very ambitious, highly motivated, overachievers you've heard about. When I enrolled in Gary Community Schools, I thought I'd be all alone. Sort of like an anomaly or a unicorn. Turns out, that wasn't true at all. There's lots of us here.
Gary Schools. Strong, resilient, built for education.
Did you miss us? Welcome back to A Day in the District. I'm still your host, Chelsea Whittington, chatting it up with Dr. Paige McNulty and Kim Bradley as we kick off the second half of our school year. Dr. McNulty, can you believe we are already in the second half?
I can.
Isn't there like report card time and all that's
Yeah.
coming up? Kim, what's going on
They
with that?
actually, report cards were posted to our student information system last week. So
Okay.
Friday, parents are able to go into the student information system and see those, or they can come into the school and have them printed for them. So yeah.
That's perfect. So for those who are not aware, we have a student information system called Skyward. And so no longer are those those days when you can take the eraser and have your
No.
your report card in your backpack. Like, no, that's a B, not an F.
Right.
So they can look real time. I didn't do that for the record. But there were some who tried. There were some who tried to, say, no, we didn't get our report cards yet.
Yeah,
but
that's not the case.
electronically, they can access
Right.
that. What are some of the other things that the student?
I was going to say parents can also have that app right on their phones.
Okay.
So not just during report card time, but as the semester progresses, they can see grades and they can see assignments so that they can help their students stay on top of whatever is going on in the classroom.
Perfect. Earlier, in the first segment, Dr. McNulty, you alluded to the open houses and the parental involvement, which we know is a big focus for us now that we're kind of on the other side of COVID. We want to dispel the myths and rumors that our doors aren't open as far as volunteerism and parental involvement and letting our parents and stakeholders see what's going on in the schools. Can you speak to that a little?
Yeah, definitely. So we had a community meeting at Beveridge last month, a couple weeks ago, before Christmas break. And it was wonderful to actually see all the community partners who came to that meeting to talk about how they're there weekly working with kids hands-on reading, on STEM activities, on mentoring. There was a myriad of things, but there must have been 5 or 6 different agencies that showed up for that evening. So, and that's just an example of one school. We're doing that at all of our schools. So, we consistently encourage anybody who's got a trade or who wants to sponsor a club, who wants to mentor a kid or come in and read. We are looking for anybody who wants to be a positive role model and impact our students to please come partner with us because our doors are open and it's working.
Yes.
We have lots more parents involved
Yes.
than we have, at least in the last couple of years. Certainly a lot more community agencies that are involved with us as well. So it's a great thing and we continue to encourage that and foster that partnership. So
Nice.
we're
Each
going to have
school-
another community meeting coming up January 31st, remind me.
At Banneker.
At Banneker, thank
Banneker
you.
Marquette.
And we'll be doing that at 5 o'clock. So anybody who's interested, please come join us. We're going to rotate those around to
That's the part I love.
yeah, at all the schools so that, if you have a particular interest in one school, you can come to that. Or if transportation is an issue getting around to other schools, we'll have them all around the city so that you have an opportunity to come to see what's happening within our school district.
Yes, I'm the queen of trying to dispel myths. So I'm like, go back, watch this.
Yeah.
You said the schools are open, and we don't want
Absolutely.
people to say, I couldn't.
And we
even
have parent
visit."
liaisons at every school. So if you're interested, of course, go into the office, but the parent liaison can help with the volunteering forms, all of those things. So we welcome our parents into the building.
I love it. Open door. So you said that one little buzzword that's happening across nations and the districts, school districts, transportation. So where are we with transportation when we talk about busing, bus driver hiring, and things like that?
Yeah. So we have recently purchased our own 4 buses.
Smart.
They're very hard to get. So we were on a list for 2 years. Just received them here in the last month or so. They are being inspected. They have to get inspected by the State Department. So we'll at least have 4 buses so that we can pick up some of those routes that
Yeah.
our current vendor has been unable to do so. Also use them for activity buses, use them for field trips, use them for sporting events, etc. Those
great.
types of things. We consistently continue to meet with our current vendor about our concerns and are working towards plans on what we need to do as we move forward for next school year so it looks better.
Good. That's great to have 4 of our own. It
Yes.
kind of reminds me of when COVID struck. We had already placed that order for the devices for the young people, so
Right.
we're kind of ahead of the
we were ahead
curve.
of the
And so if
game.
you said 2 years
Right.
waiting on buses, that sounded kind of like forward thinking as well. And again, these are issues that are not just solo to Gary. This is something
Right.
that has happened nationwide, and I'm glad to be able to let our viewing audience know that we're tackling those things. When we talk about transportation, let's parlay over into graduation. They kind of rhyme. And I know that as we talk about transportation graduation, Kim, we recently talked about our graduation rates, and they're up.
They are up. We're at 79.38%. 85%. The State Department has gone through the process of auditing, and we're done with that now. And then our next year's goals are 83%.
Okay.
Right now, and we are very hopeful to meet that. One of the things that we talked about around graduation rate is that in the past it was kind of a self-report kind of thing, and now every school district in the state reports straight through your student information system.
Oh,
So they
okay.
go into your system and they are aware of the children who are there, who are on par to graduate, and then it gets rigorously audited, more so than it has in the past, and we're very confident in those numbers and in the increase of
I
those
like
numbers.
it.
So.
I like it.
I want to say,
What do you want to say, Doc?
I want to say, because I've heard a lot about the graduation, that it used to be 95%, it used to be 100%. First of all, that's not true.
I didn't think
and
so.
I want to also say that our graduation rate has gone up 21% in over the last 2 years.
That's awesome.
So
Yes.
those are huge gains.
With the pandemic.
With
Yes.
the pandemic, and it's because of all these programs that we've put in place to help students have options to get their credits. We have summer schools, we've got cohorts, we've got credit recovery, we've got people following students along who are needing extra assistance, etc. So, and I also want to say, and I'm not trying to put down any other district, but we've also now surpassed 3 other school districts in Lake
Raise us
County,
up.
and
Yes.
we are not the lowest. We're
Yeah.
now ahead of 3 other school districts, and we fully expect to be ahead of even more as we continue forward. So I'm feeling good about
I'm
it.
feeling good,
We're at
too.
79%. We're going to be at 83 or higher next year, and we're just continuing to move forward. But 21% in 2 years is big.
That's huge.
That's
That
big,
is.
That
and
is.
it's a legitimate number.
Yes.
Right,
And
right.
so again, when you talk about telling the story, we gotta not have selective memory.
Yes.
That these are honest numbers that are being achieved by our staff and students. So.
Well, kudos to the staff and students for this huge jump. Kudos to the two of you and the team, because we know that everything we do here is a team effort. And I can't believe it. We're almost at the end of the second segment. When we come back, we have some amazing news to talk about around grades. The athletes are taking over. They are blowing it out of the park. And when we come back, we're going to talk about all these 4.0s that are coming from our student athletes. Stay right there. We'll see you soon.
It's gross. I don't really want to talk about it. She didn't want to at first, but I mean, it's no big deal. Everybody does it.
I was ready, totally ready, because we had been practicing this dance for weeks.
He was supposed to take this girl to this dance, but
I sprained my ankle at track practice.
I hate sharing anything personal. It's so disgusting. For the dance, I let her wear my shoes and she hated it, but I thought she looked great in them.
he could barely even walk.
I ended up taking some pills for my pain.
Yeah, they were my mom's, but
It didn't go well.
If it's not yours, if it's not yours,
if it's not yours,
Hey you,
don't take it.
don't take it.
Don't take it.
don't take it. You won't believe what happened next.
Hello, my name is Dr. Paige McNulty. I'm the manager for the Gary Community School Corporation, and I am pleased to be joined today with the Jackson 5 family members, Tito and Marlon Jackson. Hi, how are you? Thanks for being here today.
Not only are we members of the world famous Jackson 5, but we are proud products of the Gary schools.
Growing up in Gary, our school system afforded great opportunities from academics to extracurricular activities.
And today is no different. This is why we encourage you to enroll your child in the Gary schools today.
For more information, please call 219-881-5466 or visit garyschools.org. And please remember, enroll in Gary Schools today.
Yes,
That's right.
definitely enroll.
Gary Schools.
Strong, resilient.
Built for education.
Welcome back to the final segment of A Day in the District. I'm your host, Chelsea Whittington, and we are talking all things Gary Community School Corporation. We're in the second half of our school year. So many great things going. And earlier, Kim, you talked about report cards. And on those report cards, we are getting some great numbers. I recently received an email with a spreadsheet of a lot of honor rolls makers, and a lot of them are our student athletes. And we always emphasize when we announce somebody signing with the school, or if they're going, they got a scholarship and things like that, we go back to that term, student athletes. What's the latest, Doc?
So a couple things. One is I think we have a lot more students who are joining the sporting clubs that we have because we've been able to add so many more sports to our opportunities for students. We've got unified sports now, all the fuller
tennis,
exactly, and
golf,
we've redone all the things, so we have a lot more students interested in playing sports. But with that, we feel comes a responsibility to, you can't only be a good athlete, but you also need to be good academically. So our coaches and our staff here, teachers, have done a phenomenal job of making sure that those students are eligible, and not just eligible, but doing very well. So they have opportunities if they want to go to college to play sports and go there academically on a scholarship if they so choose. And so with that being said, we were told that we have approximately 15 students who made the 4.0 honor roll, which is an 18% increase from the last 9 weeks. And then I think there was like another 15 or 18 kids who made the 3.75 honor roll. And those numbers just keep going up and up and up. And that's just with the athletes. We also have clubs going on. We have the National Honor Society induction that's coming up, which we have more kids than ever that are going to be named in that. So all those things, I believe, are because of all the opportunities that we're presenting to kids. We started this taping a few minutes late today because we have kids who are doing Photoshop and learning how to use all their technology and the stuff here that they didn't have those opportunities for before. And I'm like, we're okay with waiting. This is why we're here, and it's so exciting to see.
It is.
And
I love the way we're able to connect the dots, because there were some, and probably still are, a few naysayers that say, well, why are you spending your money on this? Furniture doesn't matter and a track doesn't matter, but ultimately it does.
Yes.
When you think about the pride that you have, you want to be in the space where all these amenities are, and then you start to learn, and I really think with the athletes, there may be a little sense of competition between them. Like, oh, you're on the A honor roll? Well, so am I.
But also, you want to run track, you got to go to the study table.
Exactly.
And that's now the requirement. You got to go to the study table. You got to go this. You have to do your service volunteer hours. All of that is part of the package now.
I love it.
So that we're building well-rounded, character building things that take you not beyond just the track, but your life skills.
Life skills.
And that's where it's about.
Because academics are most important for our students. That's why we're here.
Yes. And so with that, we have our fine arts program under Mark Spencer's leadership that is robust and ever growing. There's an update on the auditorium, right? Where's the update seating and
so
all
the
of
seats
that?
are all here.
Okay.
They are being housed in a secret location here, but they're all here, the thousands of seats. And the floors are they're putting the final touches on the floors because we had to replace all the floors. Well, we didn't have to. We decided to replace the floors because if you're going to have beautiful new seats, you're not going to have a 50-year-old floor. So we decided to go ahead and get those floors done. So they're just buffing them out now. The seats are expected to be in by the end of January, just in time for his gospel show that's coming up. So we're very excited. Again, that'll be open to the community. We want everyone to be able to come in and enjoy that and see our wonderful students as they perform.
I'm just excited like I'm in school. So before we get out of here, we have a few minutes left. Kim, I want to turn to you just to give us our academic scope for the remainder of the school year, dashboard, all that academic stuff that you talk about.
So, this is testing season.
Okay.
Of course, it almost seems like it's always testing season,
does.
but we are at the midway point, and so we do a midway check kindergarten through 8th, actually kindergarten through 12th grade, and so we're in the midst of that, and we expect those growth scores to increase. For iReady is the formative assessment that the kindergarten through 8th grade students take. We have testing for iRead, which is a state summative test. That's that's going to be coming up soon in March. And then we have end of the year testing in May. And so testing all the time, but it is a way to help, especially with iReady and the other formative assessment pieces, so that teachers know kind of how to adjust instruction during this last semester so that our students are getting what they need. And so we're meeting the needs of all the students.
Perfect. And then, Doc, if you could briefly just touch on any updates with special education. We want to make sure that everybody knows that we have special education services in all of our buildings. I heard you all talking about that on the radio.
Yeah, at all of our buildings, and our special ed department has done a great job putting together monthly meetings for parents or anybody in the community that wants to attend on a variety of topics. I know they're having one on January 17th, I believe it is, at 4 o'clock. You can attend in person or virtually, and they talk about how to sign up for services past graduation, how to read your IEP, how to, a variety of topics based upon surveys that they've given to parents. So we encourage those families to join in on that. But I also wanted to say for the data stuff, again, if you have a student that goes to XYZ building, they really dig into those data points at those community meetings. So you can see specifically if your kid goes to Beverage, for example, how that student or how that school is doing on their reading and math skills and how you can support that. And all I'm going to say at the very last minute here is, parents, I implore you to not wait to the end of the 9 weeks to see how your student is doing. You can check on your phone. I check on my phone every day on my little youngsters who tell me their homework's done. and make sure that, up to speed. That is in real time. You can see how they're doing. If you need help from us on how to get that on your phone, you can contact the help desk here at the IT department. You can come in and we'll help you get it set it up. The parent liaisons can help you. But we want you to be engaged with us. So that's all I have to say. Please stay in tune with what's happening with your student.
Because it takes all of us working together.
Well, I just love this. You all have me fired up for the second semester. I think we have set a date also for graduation. So mark our calendars for June 4th. So
At 4 o'clock.
At 4 o'clock.
On our new field, our new football field. Yep.
Okay, so lots going on in the district. And if you didn't catch everything, no worries, because everything is posted at garyschools.org, also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You have been watching A Day in the District. A Day in the District is a program designed for you, the viewer, to stay connected to your Gary Community School Corporation. I have been chatting with my colleagues, our manager, Dr. Paige McNulty, and our Chief Academic Officer, Kim Bradley. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay connected with us, and we'll see you next time.
Go Cougars!
WSTG TV.